Today, I'm going to do a unboxing video. I know people do these online and they somewhat are interesting, so I'm going to do an unboxing video. And I got a little toy, got it really cheap at Guitar Center, and here they've shipped it to me. So I think we're gonna, I've already sort of opened it already, so this is not a big surprise. But I acquired me an SQ-1 little sequencer. It's battery operated in a metal housing. It's very sturdy. And I got this with the hopes that I can do live sequencing with the arpeggio of the Six-Trak, the Sequential Circuits Six-Trak. So one of it's kind of old, and the sequencers on it will synchronize to a MIDI clock, but the arpeggio won't. And so when you want to do kind of a live jam, it's kind of annoying that I can't use the arpeggiator feature on it. So the hope is with this guy and using the CV inputs and into the CV input on this, I'll be able to sequence the arpeggio to a MIDI clock, so I can jam. All right, well, we'll see how it goes. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is I need to do the hookup. And so what I've got is a regular tip sleeve connector that goes into the foot switch port on this Six-Trak. And the foot switch port will act as a CV sync when the speed dial is set to 0. So when it's in this mode, then it has a tempo. So if I do something like, right, it'll act as a sequencer, and if I turn up the tempo, right? So it does like normal arpeggiation. You can do the assign or whatever, and there's a hold. But the tempo is set here, and it doesn't respond. So if you turn it all the way to 0, then it responds to the CV input for clocking. And then what I'm going to do is over here, I think the only place I have is to put here the SQ-1 on top of my HR16. I don't have a lot of room. And so what I'm going to do is hook up that same CV input to the gate input here on it. And then this is MIDI, 5-din MIDI, coming in as a 1/8. So it's a 5-din MIDI 1/8, and then I've got the CV, and then the MIDI's going in to this interface right here that I've got as well. And so what should happen is the sequencer should set the time for the Six-Trak and then also respond to a MIDI clock. So I'll work on that next. Okay, we're gonna test this out now. So I'm here in front of my synths, and you know, I like to come here and kind of compose and jam a little. So I kind of play here, and so my goal is to use the arpeggio on this Sequential Circuits Six-Trak. And what I did was I have the QS1 right here. I put it over here, and I've got it hooked up via USB, and then I put the CV input output here, and it goes into the Six-Trak into its foot switch, which is actually will receive a CV input for synchronization. And I set the gate time, so there's a gate time involved, and that gate time will open and close, causing a signal, and that's what will create a tempo to synchronize the arpeggio in the Six-Trak. So it's a 1985 machine, so it doesn't have MIDI sync. So it's going to be CV sync, and then the MIDI out just goes out to my MIDI interface, so any other instrument wants to clock, it can. Now this also works as a sequencer, but for right now, I'm testing it just for MIDI clock to CV clock. So that's the goal. So what I did was I'm going to use the DAW as my master clock for right now. And I've just loaded a beat, simple beat at 100 beats per minute. And so what we're going to do is sort of jam to that beat. And then the idea is this will synchronize to that, and then the arpeggio should be in time. All right, let's give it a try. Oh yeah. Hold it. Turn your arpeggio on. Thought I had it. think it works. Cool. All right. Thanks much for watching.